Hello, how are you? Everyone good? This is me again. Guess what I'm showing you today? My work on a comic. My comic. It's been around on Webtoons for a while, and I've shown you another video in it, but there's no talking, so I guess you need something talking, because why not? I mean, you need to talk about it, right? Because otherwise nobody knows it's yours, or that you're doing it, or that it's important, etc. That being said, I wanted to capture the line art process this time. I have another video coming soon which includes the coloring actually, process. So it's from the drawing process to the coloring process. You also have a snippet on the that side of the art where it's like thumbnails, and you can get to see that. I mean, you can see it here too, like that's those wiggly, swiggly, barely noticeable things like are my thumbnails. There's nothing interesting about them, and I do them exactly the way I need them to go for, to make sure that everybody's at the right place, and there's no, nothing fixed about it, so I don't have to worry that, well, this and that will happen, etc. I allow myself the flexibility. About the story? Well, it's like a kind of a vignette, a slice of life of a small town where an evil spirit starts to wander around and cause trouble. It's kind of a slow starter, so yeah, we have a lot of introduction of new characters. There are a lot of characters. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I do that for myself, but I have quite a few characters there. I might actually do a video presenting each one of them, or at least some of them, the most important ones maybe. I need to do some art specific on them, because, I mean, they need it. They just can't be hanging around without a particular art on them. I think that would be a pity. All in all, this is my line-up process. It's in time view, it's in real time, it's real. This is how it works. I do not work any faster than this. This is the maximum speed I can make on a page, and sometimes I waste a lot of time figuring out how a cloth sits. Other times I just wing it and it goes straight down, and I have no problem with it. But then again, you can't expect that to work every time. I mean, I have experience because I'm an artist, and I spent most of my life staring at people and how their clothes sit on them and making them think I'm crazy or making them think I'm super weird. But there are some limits to my brain, because I don't live by that every single day. I just can't remember everything. It's impossible. I'm human. Thank you. Yes. On the process, I really don't have much to tell you. It's straightforward. I go in batches. I line up about 10 to 50 pages. Then I block the colors in those 10 to 50 pages, and then I do the exact coloring for those 10 to 50 pages. And I don't bother keeping track on how much time I spend on a page, but I have a recording with one page going from start to finish, so you'll get to see it there. Yippee for you and for me, because I have no idea how much time I spend on a page, and now I'll know. Great, right? Come on, it's great. Also, that won't include breaks, so yeah, it will be a very incomplete estimate, but it will be there. That's all that matters. Yep. Next topic. Well, you can find my comic on Webtoons. You can find my comic on Tapas. I posted them in there too. I started at the competition, the one that was in June, July, can't remember exactly. And I didn't get any particular mentioning or any fancy prizes because, let's be fair, I'm a beginner. It's my first comic in long form. I did do another one and it's also on Tapas. I didn't post it on Webtoons. I don't want to post it there because I don't know for sure what I'm gonna do with it. I want to do something with it. It's a pretty tight story there, but I just couldn't make myself finish it. I need to sit down and segment my events into chapters because just winging it didn't work, didn't get me too far. I'm a bit in a slump there. I don't know how to finish it, how to continue it, what's the next step, and that all. And all of that. Then again, we have here 2 goats. Are they really goats? I don't know. There's some kind of anthropomorphic creatures based on animals. That's what I want to do. It's my choice, my comic. Deal with it. They are friendly, kind. Most of them. They're basically based on humans, so yeah. About what they eat? Well, I did consider that. While most of them are vegetarians, I did include some carnivores, like the foxes, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna add bears in the end or not. I have a prototype for a bear, but I'm not sure. Anyway, foxes also eat grapes, so foxes eat vegetables, so it could go that way too, like everyone being vegetarian. But I'm not sure I want to spend all my time drawing food that's based on plants. I want to have some variety, so maybe I'll drop a chicken there, here and there. Why a chicken? Well, I did not create a chicken character, so that will work. That's kind of how I made it. Most of my anthropomorphized creatures are human-based. The human-based are based on mammals, so I don't have any kind of problem there. You know, we have foxes, we have cats, we have rabbits, we have I'm not sure if they're raccoons or another creature, something with field living creature. I wanted to include a deer at some point at the beginning, but then I changed my mind. It's too much work. I mean, I love drawing horns, but let's be serious. That's way too much horned creature to include in a page. I would have to make a huge panel just for their horns. And I need to finish this comic at some point, so I can have that huge number of panels, those large panels for the horns. The action? Well, it's gonna have action because I don't want to spend the whole of the story just having character knitting or making soup. That's not the point. But it mostly has social problems like discrimination, stereotypy, hatred, exclusion, social exclusion, prejudice. Yeah, it's based on Pride and Prejudice. Anyway, no, it's not. It's not the same thing, but it has that idea at the base. So there you go. Here are some ideas. Here are some of the ideas from the comic. Anything else you would like to know, I could also answer. You can send your questions in the comments and hear me out on the next video where I will answer them. The problem with YouTube is that I did not get the comments, so I have to check them, which means that I might be late. But you can leave them on my wall. I think there wouldn't be any problem. I will check that one. As a lighter note, this comic updates for now bi-monthly, twice a month, so it's one chapter on the 15th of the month and one chapter at the end of the month, 30 or 31 depending on the day. I choose 30 because mostly it's gonna be on 30 because 31 is not for every month. But if I am late, you will find it on the 31st or on the 1st of the next month. I don't know what I'll do in February where they have 28, 29. Maybe I'll skip that month. Who knows what I'll do? Or maybe I'll just post regardless. Because I want my people to see the comic finished someday, at some point. It's not an exactly fixed schedule, but I do have a program. And I'm trying to keep it. I don't have a buffer anymore. So that's the thing. That's a problem. I'm run out of buffers and this is my passion project, so it's gonna take its time and it's gonna be slowly moving on. Not more slowly than I wanted to, but as slowly as I can allow myself. On a lighter note, look at those nice legs I'm doing there. Yep. Slowly building up the shape. That's how I work it. It's not a perfect leg, but then again, that's not a perfect human design, so whatever, you know. That's what happens when you do animal based humans. You can wing it to some extent. People will notice eventually, so you can't do everything on a whim, but you can wing sometimes, especially if it's a small panel that everybody will pass by with a light speed. So why bother? The story matters. Usually in comics, the story matters. I prefer the art over the story. So yeah, if a story is whatever, but the art is cool, I might just, stare at the art, even though the story doesn't exist. It's a pity though. You should try to have a story with your good art. Yeah, so here we have Mr. Goat, who's looking for someone who is supposed to know something about another person, and he stumbles upon a stranger in the place he was supposed to find Mr. Someone. And who is the person? Why is she there? Oh, that's a mystery. You can find out on my comic. Yeah, go there. Anyways, don't forget that. Also, if you have a Tapas or a Webtoon account, do consider liking, subscribing, telling, commenting. Maybe you have suggestions, maybe you have ideas, maybe you want to tell me something. I am listening. I need the advice. I'm happy to get any advice I can find. Just remember that this is my comic and you might not know everything. But art advice, ways to speed up my process, I'm open for it. If you want to know about the tools, I'll also talk about that at some point. But for a short note, it's like Medibang, Krita, and 3D. I did do some 3D buildings for this story. Why did I do that? Well, I needed to. I just can't spend the rest of my life drawing a building, thinking how it sits in space. I need to do this fast, so I just dropped that in there. I do have an episode halfway recorded, on me using a 3D environment, but I don't know if I'll post it, how I'll post it, and when I'll post it, because the story hasn't reached the point where it gets there in the building side of the world. Right now they're in the rural stage, very corner of the world kind of place, forgotten nowheres. And I have a character that's gonna move to the city. If you have read the comics so far, maybe you know her. If not, you will find out about her very soon, because she's one of my main characters. She moves the action quite a bit. Not more than the goat lady or the sheep lady. You're gonna meet the sheep lady. You're gonna like the sheep lady. About the rabbits, they start a story and all that. Them and the cats. Well, they're still gonna be there. They're not gonna disappear. They have their own story and they are moving forward. It's quite an interesting one, especially for the cats and their relationship. They have a friendship relationship and they need to get along. And if they'll make it, how they'll make it. You can see here a small face of the goat. I winged it totally, completely, and unapologetically. I think he looks fine. He's actually quite adorable. I like doing those circle things around their heads at the eyes for a suggestion of oh guy, I'm stuck, I'm blocked, I'm oh dear, lost completely, someone save me. Yeah. As a side note, I like to work on a hands-on manner for the thumbnails, which means that they're on paper. It's a thick stack of paper full with thumbnails. I used an old printed document that I don't use it anymore and I don't need for it. And it was also binded, so there you go. I have a bind up with my thumbnails and the story in order, and I don't get lost, so yeah, good me. Anyways, what else do you want me to tell you about? As you see here, I'm not the type of person that plans every line, so they kind of go which way they need to go. I don't like that style. Like, if I was a pro, or maybe if I was working with a writer and I needed to convey a certain emotion in a certain manner, yes, I would have asked for detailed scripting and I would have provided detailed thumbnails. But as things are going now, like me working on my own, with my own work, with my own job, it doesn't require that kind of stuff. It's just me and my art, so the story's in my head. I know exactly what the character needs to tell with his emotions. So I don't bother with detailed sketching and scripting. I do have a script. I actually do have a script. I made it because I wanted to make sure I get the action in the right way. The action is quite complex and I need to follow the timeline. Will it have knights in shining armors? No. It does talk about war, so you will have that. You will get to see it. But nothing very gory, at least not at the beginning. I have a character that's rather violent, but again, he won't be that much of a present. No real action in terms of violence will be depicted on the story. The beginning has some violence and it might feel a bit rough for some people, but there isn't anything gross or creepy or stuff. So yeah, maybe, but it depends on everybody what they want. I don't think it's a story for children, so try to not have your kid check it out. At least not the before 12 ones. I don't want to tell stories for before 12. This one at least it isn't for before 12. I don't know what to say else. Maybe you like this type of art, maybe you don't. Leave me a comment with your comic if you are an artist too. I would like to check out how other people structure their stuff online. I've seen some interesting panels on webtoons. I don't feel like doing them. It's not exactly made for webtoons, it's just converted to webtoons. It's more of a A4, A5 maybe panel structure. I don't have a page count yet. I could tell you that I'm on page. I can tell you that I'm on page 53, the last completed page being 58. So I still have a little more job to do. I'm still working on it. So there you go. That's for the page count. Anything else that you'd like to know? Well, you can ask me. Do believe in my project if you do. So, yeah. Don't forget to subscribe and give a like to the channel. I'm still working on it. To be honest, this video is way longer than I expected it would get. To think that I'm talking for so long. I'm gonna leave you now with the ending of the line art. It's not that much more. It's just goat's head. I do have a name for all the characters. Just so you know, they're not just goat girl, goat guy, but they are called that way because I invented this kind of Asian-based naming system where you don't call someone by their name from the get-go unless you're familiar with them. So everyone is goat. Everyone is goat girl, goat guy, goat boy, goat's son, goat's uncle, goat's nephew, the third born goat, the fourth born goat, goat 5, goat 6, if there's a big family. Anyway, so they have this kind of goat, sheep, rat, I don't have rats, cat, like Mary Cat if there's more cats in the village and she's like standing out, we have a Mary Cat because her name is iconic, you know, she has a reputation, so people call her by her name. You know, Mary Cat, everybody knows it's her, even though there are another 2 Marys in the village. If they say Mary Cat, it's her. The other 2 Marys are just like, they're just like Cat, Cat Girl, Cat Missy, Cat Doll. One's Cat Doll because she's very pretty, so they call her Cat Doll. Yeah, and childish. I mean, most of my characters are pretty because I like pretty things, but she's like doll-like, and they call her Cat Doll. I did structure my story this way. It was a thing. I wanted to have it. I also wanted to save myself the trouble of naming every single character. But in the end they do have names, so why did I bother? I don't know. I did it anyway. I did it. I'm fine with it now. Thank you for watching this far, and don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to give a like, comment on your opinion on my line art. Do you like it? It's very organic. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to come back. There'll be another video soon. And see you later. You'll have links in the description for my comic to check it out wherever you want to see it. Bye!